Okay, thank you for your patience during the, getting set up here. I am Erin Daniels. I'm an independent creative director and digital experience architect. My former position was creative director at TMP Government. That's the DC office of TMP Worldwide, which is a recruitment advertising agency. Here are some of the brands that I've helped. Here we're going to talk about user engagement. 2 seconds. Almost 70% of tablet users expect a website to load in 2 seconds or less. There's pretty high expectations. And the folks at Google tell us that fast is better than slow. Something that I think that we all know. The link between increased usage and faster user experience reinforces something that we at Google have known for a long time. Fast is better than slow. So nearly half of tablet users will retry a website only once if it didn't work initially. And we know that tablet is important, mobile is important because eBay expects $8 billion in sales in 2012 from the mobile device. So they're paying attention to a user experience that is optimized for a tablet. So here we have sort of the components of an optimal user experience. We already went over 3 of them on the left side. Function, performance, ease of use, and these are all tangible things. Hopefully you've learned some tips about these from earlier presentations. I'm going to focus on the intangible items, beauty, emotion, meaning, and this will help deliver an optimal user experience. So, Donald Noonan is a usability expert. He's a professor of cognitive science, and he tells us that in product design, there are 3 levels of processing. The visceral, which is really your first impression, the attractiveness of what you're seeing. It's pre-conscious, you're not really thinking about it. Behavioral, this is the use of the product, the function, the performance, usability. And then reflective, this is really the full impact of thought and emotion. It deals with message and culture, the meaning of the product or its use. So here are some ways that I've listed here that can help encourage user engagement. You could keep users coming back for fresh content that they seek. You could tell a story or create a narrative through user experience design. You could really tap into the mobile and tablet specific interactions and functionalities. You can use play or gamification. So the first here is keep them coming back. So we have, news does this really well. You want to get the latest news. It could be expertise in a given subject matter or opinion. Or it could be one new thing a day. And this is kind of fun. One band a day. This is an iPad app that helps music lovers see and get introduced to a new band each day. Or Face the Facts, you'll say this delivers a nonpartisan fact every day until the election. What about storytelling? Storytelling and experience go hand in hand. Brand message is no longer the thing that sells. Experience sells. If the intangible pleasure, emotion, and meaning you seek can be made tangible through the use of story and narrative techniques, we will build more compelling product experiences. So storytelling has been around for a long time, really since the beginning of time. Through cave paintings on walls, through different civilizations, cultures, through history. So you could tell a story to engage the emotions and the imagination of your users. Or you could use storytelling to align with a certain shared value. Charities do this really well, telling stories about the people that you're helping. Now, here's a great use of storytelling, and if you click the link on the bottom, we'll take a look at one creative use of storytelling for getting images. Well, this is where a high-speed internet is, really ideal here. Right, thank you. Fast is definitely better than slow. So unfortunately, we couldn't see the entire show here. This was a great example of storytelling. And one of the great things about this, Getty used all images from its collection and just really basically put them together to tell this story of love and fireworks, and then it goes on the website to talk about a baby that comes out of this, and he grows up, and it's love to bingo. So then they end up moving towards the bingo, sort of the elderly sort of generation, the story of life, really. But it was a really effective way for Getty to show their imagery and allow people to make purchases. One way also is to approach user experience as a narrative. And this is really taking into account user experience design, your business goals, technology, and really walking through users into a story. So this narrative is a pretty interesting example. This is slaveryfootprint.org, and here we have, you're presented with a question: how many slaves work for you? I mean, that's the there are no slaves who work for me. I live in my house and I do these things. I don't, have slave labor. So it gives you a chance to really find out how. So it walks you through a survey. So there are about 10 or so questions, and it asks you just certain sort of demographic type things, and then what's on your plate, what do you serve, how many vegetables, seafood, that sort of thing. What is your sort of, how many gadgets do you have? Are you a gadget geek? Do you have TVs, radios, gaming consoles? All of these weigh into, well, how many slaves are actually helping you get these products. All along the way, they have these really nice things on the right-hand side, little tidbits of information that teach you about, slave labor overseas and how it affects the products that you use every day. So towards the end, you get to the end, and it's like, wow, 70 slaves work for me. And what do you know? So it takes you through this whole thing. You could share your results. You could, take some action. So really, the whole story was accommodated for in this narrative of user experience. Another idea with storytelling is really to evolve your story, engage users to involve themselves in the story. So here's one iPad app that is pretty fun. People love trying on clothes and making poses, and they love to see themselves, and creating ensembles, things like that. So here they take pictures of themselves and put tags on their different articles of clothing and purses and accessories, and people can purchase them. So one of the great creative thinkers in mobile was explaining, don't shoehorn some idea into mobile. So some of the great mobile creative thinking is really, we're moving from this can be done with mobile to, this really can't be done without mobile. And that's where your best creative mobile thinking is going to come about. So here we have gestures. That's a very mobile type of interaction, and this is very intimate. It's a very intimate action. People are using their hands, much different than the desktop where you have a mouse and you're clicking around and things. So here, we skipped the video in this case, unfortunately, because of the connection here. But this is a wonderful example of an iPad ad that you're swiping through the magazine on your iPad, and you get to this page, and all of a sudden you just leave this streak, this beautiful brush stroke. And what this does is the user, then realizes what he's done, and he's sort of, playing around, and he's, makes little other gestures and some of the brush marks or different colors. And really, this is an ad for art school. Being an artist. And so really, this concept really works with the gesture that is very mobile and tablet specific. Here's another one that is a really fun iPad ad in a car magazine. I believe is in Brazil. And so the user gets this ad, they swipe to the next page, and they realize, oh, I crashed the car. And so this ad is really, oops, you need some car insurance. You're going to get in accidents by accident, not intentional. And it's just a really fun ad. And this is done using video, so it's, pretty loud crashing sounds and some honking and that sort of thing. So it's really fun to watch the video. One thing about tablets and mobile devices that is really, really great in advertising especially is you can customize the user experience based on the data that you already have. So for example, the Weather Channel has a wonderful ad that, the Weather Channel knows where you are. They know what the weather is, And so they can serve up some really targeted ads here. So here it's freezing cold in New York, it's snowing. And so they serve up this ad. The copy is it's written for you. New York, escape the snow to Key West, Florida for a better view. And how wonderful is that, what you need to see on a snowy day? So they go beyond that to using gestures. So here we have snow covering the entire tablet. Wipe to escape. And so you wipe to escape this beautiful, beautiful place in Key West, Florida. And you can tap it, make a reservation, and go on vacation. Engage using augmented reality. This is another way of using mobile and tablet-specific technology. This is an iPad app. It's also an iPhone called Starlock. And it is wonderful. This is, you point your iPad, your iPhone up to the sky, flame night sky, and you see the stars, and it'll tell you the constellations. And you can tap and learn more about each of these stars and the planets. This is absolutely a really fun app. Personally, I enjoyed this very much over the winter when I spent 10 days on a sailboat in the British Virgin Islands. There was horizon to horizon stars. It was absolutely fabulous. Now, this is another use of augmented reality for the purpose of recruitment advertising. A typical job description is just not really that exciting. But here we have an advertising campaign that TMP Worldwide's London office, AIA Worldwide, did for the Met Police to ramp up their volunteer police efforts for the Olympics. And so, I'll see if this one works. Sure, can we click this video? Thank you. Okay. So it's not playing. That's unfortunate. So I'll just briefly tell you about what happens here. It is a really, really great advertising campaign where you hold your phone up using the augmented reality browser, and what it does is it plays a video of a police officer basically talking to a person of interest and showing how that training will, the training that the Met Police gives you will really help you as a volunteer police officer in the Met Police. So, and now we have gamification, and this here, I'll just go over briefly since we're running out of time, to basically make the distinction between usability and a great user experience. Usability clears the way for a good user experience by eliminating the troublesome interface distractions, but a great experience stems from something more, an awareness of why people could or do care. The danger is in confusing ease of use with actually desiring to use something. So game mechanics and psychology all help people to want to use a particular product. My example here, which unfortunately you won't see the video, but briefly, Pain Squad, this is a wonderful example of putting an app together that basically are getting data from kids who are undergoing chemotherapy in their pain management. And so what they did was they created a game out of it so that kids could submit their pain results every single day. And it was a fun game, and they had videos of popular TV shows in Canada. This was built in Canada, and they would graduate to certain levels when they worked with this app. It was a really fun, engaging way for kids to input data that will help in their pain management. Okay, brief recap. Keep users coming back with fresh content. Tell a story or narrative through user experience design. Tap into the mobile or tablet-specific interaction or technology. Use gamification techniques to encourage users to engage, learn, or perform a function. Here's some notes for further study. Thank you.